So, Chasing Amy is a romantic comedy that was released in 1997, written and directed by Kevin Smith, in which we follow two characters, Holden and Banky, who are portrayed by Ben Affleck and Jason Lee, lifelong best friends who also happen to be comic book artists, and things for them are going swiftly. I mean, they are going great for the two of them. Holden meets Alyssa, portrayed by Joy Lauren Adams, who also happens to be a comic book artist, and the two of them do develop a friendship, and Holden finds himself falling in love with her. And then one day, things kind of go upside down when Holden finds out that Alyssa happens to be a lesbian. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say, welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button to not miss a feature video. It's a feature review, reaction, top 5, top 10, or whatever I've coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because believe me when I say this, guys, you are not going to miss the cool stuff I have coming your way. And for those of you who are coming back to my channel, by the way, welcome back, everybody. You have no idea how happy I am to see your faces once again. And let us start our conversation below as well. What do you guys think of Chasing Amy? Did you guys like the film? Do you dislike the film? Where do you all stand on this film, especially when it comes to Kevin Smith's filmography? Let me know below. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into Chasing Amy.
Excellent!
So before I continue on, I just want to wish you all out there a happy Valentine's Day. Or for those of you who are like me and single, happy Single Awareness Day. It's love. It's love. That's all I want to say about that. Now, for those of you who saw on Monday that I reviewed When Harry Met Sally, I also had the plan to review all my favorite rom-coms today, which is Valentine's Day. And well, for those of you who haven't seen the title, thumbnail, or if you skip the introduction to this video, to which I sure as heck hope you didn't, I thought that not only I would cover one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time, but my favorite film from this particular filmmaker, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is a filmmaker that I wouldn't normally suggest a Valentine's Day movie, but really in this case, this to me, now also, if you guys remember correctly, I think this was back in, I want to say, 2013, maybe in 2014, when me and I think Alex, and I can't remember if it was either Joe or Lucas, but we did our top 5 chick flicks, and if I remember correctly, Chasing Amy was actually my top 5, even though I wouldn't necessarily call this a chick flick per se, but it is a romantic comedy, and by the way, it's one of my favorites, and it's a phenomenal one at that. And once again, I know that Chasing Amy may not be considered to be some as a Valentine's Day movie, especially considering what happens in the ending, which I think is a great ending. But at least for me, guys, as a person who loves a great romantic comedy, Chasing Amy for me at least makes this, because, man, Chasing Amy is one phenomenal romantic comedy, and it is, honest to God, one of my favorite movies out there. All of the performances in Chasing Amy are fantastic. Whether it's Ben Affleck, Jason Lee, Joy Lauren Adams, and also Dwight Will, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering his name, but man, he is great in the film along with everybody else. When it comes on to Ben Affleck, his collaborations with Kevin Smith were just absolutely legendary. His performance here in Chasing Amy is my favorite performance in a Kevin Smith movie, especially because of the relationships that Ben Affleck as Holden has with the other characters in the movie. Whether it's Holden's relationship with Banky, portrayed by Jason Lee, which I love the relationship, or Holden's relationship with Alyssa, portrayed by Joy Lauren Adams, which is the heart and soul of this movie. Which is really the main thing that makes Chasing Amy, at least to me, stand out amongst all of Kevin Smith's filmography, and that's how Kevin Smith handles the relationships in this movie. When it comes down to Holden, he has a great relationship with his best friend, Banky, portrayed by Jason Lee, who not only is his lifelong best friend, but the two of them also have a business partnership because they are comic book artists who are selling a pretty good selling comic book run of Bluntman and Chronic. However, once Alyssa comes in the picture, portrayed by Joy Lauren Adams, things between him and Jason Lee, between him and Banky, get complicated because Holden is wanting to spend more time with Alyssa's character because their friendship is actually giving them some type of happiness in his life, the happiness that he has been missing, it seems like, for quite some time. One of the things that I absolutely love about this movie is Alyssa's character portrayed by Joy Lauren Adams. I absolutely love Alyssa in this movie, and one of the things I love about the way that Kevin Smith wrote this character is how Alyssa essentially challenges what Holden sees as essentially the standard relationships or the standards within sex itself. How Kevin Smith writes these dialogue sequences and how he directs these sequences, especially with these two, were amongst my favorite aspects about this movie. And my god, gotta tell you guys right now, Holden and Alyssa's relationship is easily one of my favorite aspects about this movie. When the two of them strike up a friendship, even though Banky absolutely despises this friendship, even though him and Alyssa do have a hilarious conversation and some of my favorite conversations of the entire film. When Banky sees his best friend with somebody that is not only hurting and straining their relationship, but is also hurting their business relationship, you do see where Banky is coming from, even though Banky is quite homophobic, but there is a reason why he is and the way that he is, which is explained brilliantly by Dwight Evil's character, who, by the way, just wanted to say, Dwight Evil as Hopper in this movie, holy crap, is he a gem. His sequences in this movie, especially his dialogue exchanges with Banky, are fucking hilarious. And not to mention as well that Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith, the writer-director, also pop up as their famous characters Jay and Silent Bob. And man, Kevin Smith easily gives one of the best monologues, at least for me, of his career when he talks about his failed relationship that reminds him of Holden's failed relationship. His monologue here about his failed relationship, of how he couldn't see past his insecurities because of how his ex-girlfriend had a lot of experience compared to him, and that he wanted to have that, and as a result of his insecurities, he just blew away and he walked away from the relationship, and how it reminds Holden of what he just experienced. One of my favorite things about Chasing Amy, as y'all can imagine, is Kevin Smith's writing and directing. Kevin Smith's movies, especially when it comes down to his writing is very well, and has a lot of crude humor, a lot of juvenile humor, a lot of immature humor, some very, let's just say, off-the-wall humor, to say the least. Especially today, guys, a movie like this would not be made, especially because of, well, the words, the language that's used in this movie. This was a movie in Kevin Smith's filmography that definitely had a more mature approach to relationships, even though it does have that immature, raunchy, crude humor that we all know to expect from a Kevin Smith movie. Before I move on, I must talk about my favorite scenes from Chasing Me, because it wouldn't feel right to do a video on this movie unless if I was talking my favorite scenes, and there's actually 3 scenes from this movie that I absolutely love. One of them, which is what I referenced earlier, a conversation between Banky and Alyssa. This conversation had me laughing so hard, especially in my most recent rewatch, and it's a conversation that, holy crap, I wonder how it played with today's audience. I seriously wonder how it played. The second scene of this movie that I absolutely love, and it's easily a scene that just, it kills me every time I see it. And that's a scene where Holden clumsily baits Alyssa into saying, yeah, I fucked 2 guys. And oh my god, the editing of that sequence, the sound of that sequence, and how that scene is written and performed, still to this day makes me go, oh no, Holden, why? Why? And how that conversation just keeps escalating and escalating. Holy crap. The last scene that I gotta talk about, as y'all can imagine, is the ending of this movie. Chasing Amy's ending isn't necessarily a happy ending, even though each of the characters is in a happier place from when we last saw them in a scene previously. It is definitely more of a bittersweet ending. Holden, Banky, and now Alyssa, they're having great comic runs. At the same time, a couple of things have happened. Alyssa and Holden have broken up. Banky and Holden's friendship and their partnership has dissolved, and when they're seeing each other, while they're happy for each other, especially business-wise, you can clearly see that when they're interacting with each other, pain from their past is only brought up, and it gives them, especially in their facial expressions, It is so good. I just want to mention how amazing Jason Lee is in this scene. The way that Jason Lee acts with his eyes. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And not to mention it as well, the conversation that Holden has with Alyssa, their final conversation, and how it ends with Alyssa's girlfriend asking her, hey, who is that person? Who is he? And then Alyssa says, oh, just some guy I knew. Such a brilliant and a genius ending for this movie. I could not praise this ending enough. It is just so goddamn good.
Well, that's just fucking great!
Issues? I got nothing.
And here we go.
So overall, I absolutely fucking love Chasing Amy. Not only does Chasing Amy feature fantastic performances, but it also features, at least in my personal opinion, Kevin Smith's best writing and directing. Not only is Chasing Amy one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time, it's my favorite Kevin Smith movie, but it is also one of my favorite movies. All in all, I'm gonna give Chasing Amy a 6 out of 5. There are no words to describe how much I love, how much I adore Chasing Amy, but simply put, guys, I fucking love this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, and if you happen to be a big Kevin Smith fan, check this movie out, guys. It's a great movie. I hope you all enjoyed my review of Chasing Amy. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike this review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see my previous 2 videos, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I'll see you all next time.